The Prince and the Pauper. Do you see the Prince? And do you see the Pauper? You do? Great job. And we're going to see how they switch. And the Prince becomes the Pauper, and the Pauper becomes the Prince. Let's do it, do it. This is going to be fun. Ah, there you go. The Prince and the Pauper. For many years, England has had a wise and good king. The people were happy under his rule. But by and by, the king felt ill. Do you see that? There's the people there. They were happy, and then all of a sudden, when the king got ill, they started being really sad, and it really turned out bad. So let's take a look over here and see what happened after the king got ill. Soon, the greedy captain of the guard, Captain Pete, saw his chance to rob and terrify the people. Do you see Captain Pete there? And that's his group of people that he goes around and he steals stuff from them. He came over here and knocked over this one lady's basket, and he ran over and made this guy wet, and then he was very mean to this guy who was trying to help this one gal. And then this gal was trying to walk over to get some wood, maybe to help out the rest of them. And he slushed snow on all these people and was really, really mean to the people. And then Captain Pete's right there. So let's see what happened and how it'll turn around to being something really, really good. Without wood to heat their simple homes and enough food to eat, people suffered terribly throughout the land. Do you see that? They don't have enough wood or anything. It seemed that no one could save the kingdom from the thieving Captain Pete until one day. Do you see this here? This is the Prince and the Pauper. These are all the people that are suffering under the king. That's Mickey, Goofy, and Pluto. And what are they doing? They're selling wood. So we're going to get to see, until one day, we're going to get to see who saves the kingdom. Kindling, fresh kindling, called Mickey. Besides him, Goofy shouted, get your snow cones here. Plain and Rock and Twig, the two friends were hungry and cold too, but they tried to make the best of things. Oh, do you see that? Do you see they're trying to make the best of things? They are. And that one lady's like, I wish I could buy it, but I don't have any money to buy the twigs or the ice cream cones or anything. All I have here is just enough to get by because of the cruel Captain Pete who's stealing and robbing the entire land. This is the Pauper, and soon we're gonna meet the Prince. Ah, here we go. Suddenly, a coach full of Captain Pete's soldiers sped around a corner, spraying snow in Mickey and Goofy's face. Mickey's dog, Pluto, shook the snow from his snout and took off after them, going roof, 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 roof. And so what happened was they were coming here, and Pete's guys came around, caught some snow here and splashed it on both of these people. That's not nice. They splashed it on Goofy, that Mickey, and Pluto. That's not nice at all. And there's Mickey and Pluto, and then there's the guards, or one guard that's standing. I'm sure there's one over here too. So let's see what happens. Mickey chased all the way to the castle. When one of Pete's guards caught sight of Mickey, he bowed so low that his nose almost touched the ground. Welcome home, your majesty, your young majesty, he says. And actually, this is who this is. It looked like was the prince. So it's welcome home, young prince, he says. So he was thinking majesty, but it's actually a prince. He's got to be the king someday when his dad passes the scepter over to him. But in reality, there's the prince. There's the young prince right there. You fool, groaned Captain Pete. Don't you know the prince is still up in his room? He grabbed Mickey and was about to throw him out when the prince called down to Captain Pete, "That is no way to treat one of my subjects. Unhand the lad and send him up to me." You see, that's the young prince. That's Mickey, and that's Pluto, and that's the mean Captain Pete, who's under the king's authority, not his dad. His dad's sick, and so Pete is able to go through and steal and get all the money he can from all the people under the young prince's authority at the present moment. And Pete's he was gonna throw Mickey out, but the young prince said, "Bring him up," and let's see what happens when he brings him up. As Mickey tried to find the prince's room, he stared at the luxurious castle furnishings. He was so busy looking around that he forgot to watch where he was going. With a loud crash, he stumbled into several suits of armor. Do you see that? He's walking here, he's looking around, he says, "Wow, everything looks so nice. Look at the mirror, the flowers, there's probably food up here, and this is all nicely cleaned and everything." Then he's not watching what he's doing, and he comes and he hits the suits, and this is what it looks like down here. It goes crash, and all of them start coming over like dominoes in a row. Just then the prince appeared. He was about to greet Mickey when the helmets toppled upon each of their heads. Do you see that armor right over here? The armor fell off, and so one fell on the young prince, and one fell on Mickey. And so that's what happened here. Was Mickey has one here, and the young prince has one, and they're walking around to see what they can do. One has a red, one has a blue feather. Of course, we know Mickey is the red feather, and the young prince is the blue feather. This is so great. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Follow or subscribe or like, either one. All right, here we go. So now they're opening their helmets. Mickey and the prince pulled off their helmets and gasped. You look just like me," cried Mickey. No, cried the prince. "You mean you look just like me, especially like me." That's what the prince said to Mickey. You look the same. Then the prince had an idea. "I could take your place for just one day. I am tired of being a prince," he says. "I am tired of studying and fencing and never having any time for myself. I'd like to see what's going on outside these walls." So that the young prince is like, "I'm tired of eating, I'm tired of studying, I'm tired of doing all these different things." And he goes, "Mickey, would you mind trading places with me?" He wants to be a pauper, and he would like to be a prince. So that's where the prince and the pauper, and we're going to get to see what happens with the prince and the pauper. "If we swap clothes," he told Mickey, "you could live like a prince for a while, and I could walk around the kingdom just like an ordinary citizen." You see, this is that's Mickey, that's the young prince, and so he says, "If we switch clothes, I can walk around like you, Mickey, and you could be like me, the young prince, and that'll just be for a day so that I could see what's going on in my kingdom, if everything's going good or if everything's going bad." We want everything to go good, so he's going to make sure his kingdom is ran properly. "But I don't know how to be a prince," said Mickey. "Don't worry," said the prince, as he gave Mickey some royal clothes. To govern, you need only to say, 'Splendid idea. I'm glad I thought of it,' said, and the guard seizes him. I'm glad I thought of it, and guard sees him." That's all you have to do. That's what he's saying is, if Mickey does, if there's a good idea, and it's somebody else's idea, he says, "That's a splendid idea. I'm glad I thought of it." And then what he does is he'll say, seize that person and basically throw him out. That's not nice, but happens. Let me see. But in the end, in the Walt Disney books, we always got to add this. There's always a happy ending, so do not worry. It looks gloomy right now, but in the end, there's a bright sun. The prince put on Mickey's clothes, climbed down through the window, and slid down a vine. I'll be back in a twinkle of an eye, he called. See, he's right here. Mickey put on his clothes. The prince put on Mickey's clothes. And now he's going down the vine till he reaches the bottom. Mistaking the prince for Mickey, Captain Pete grabs him as soon as he reaches the ground. Then he said, "Please, the prince is captured, and I'll fire him, and oh, this is it. Let me see here. Mistaking the prince for Mickey, sorry. Captain Pete grabbed him, and as soon as he reached the ground, so when he reached the ground, he grabbed him. Then he placed the prince in a catapult. Oh no! And fired him over the wall. And stay out, Captain Pete shouted. So basically, he put him in here and cut the rope, and he went right out the window. He didn't even have the niceness just to take him out and put him outside. He fired him in a catapult. That's not nice at all. The prince landed on his face in the snow, and Goofy and Pluto ran over to help him up. As soon as Pluto sniffed the prince, he knew it wasn't his master, Mickey. So Pluto snorted off to the He started off to the castle gates to wait for the real Mickey. So he smelt. Pluto smelt what looked like Mickey, but he knew what it wasn't Mickey. So after he smelt him, he trotted off right here and sat right at the gate, waiting for his true master, or his true friend, Mickey. "Gosh, Mickey," said Goofy, "you should have jumped over the wall and landed on your head like that. That could get hurt." He goes, "Gosh, you shouldn't jump over the wall. You can land on your head and get hurt." And the prince is probably going to say, "I didn't jump over the wall, Goofy. I was fired over the wall by Captain Pete, the not nice captain." Here we go. I want to make sure I got all this perfect. Okay. Of course, the prince had no idea who Goofy was. "I'm Goofy, remember?" said Mickey's friend. "So I see, my good man," the prince murmured. "But I just want to go. Ta-ta." Now Goofy was really confused. Mickey had certainly never talked this way before. So he's like, "Yes, my subject," that's what he's saying. "Yes, my subject, I really would like to meet you, but I have to go. Ta-ta for now." Kind of like what Tigger does. Once the prince managed to get away from Goofy, he began to enjoy his new surroundings. "What a nice little place," he said to himself. "I really must try to come here more often." Wait till he finds out, though, about Captain Pete's guys. It's not going to end up very good. That's sad. The prince was enjoying his walk when he spotted a little dog. Because he'd never had a pet before, he thought it would be fun to play with the little fellow. But the little dog had bigger friends who thought chasing the prince was even more fun. See, that's the little puppy. But he had other friends that went, "You're messing with our buddy, our little friend. We will chase you." And so they go, "Ruff, ruff, ruff, ruff," and they're chasing him. Trot, 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 trot. Here we go. Back at the castle, Mickey was quite quickly becoming bored with the life of a prince. He didn't like spending his days taking all these lessons, not when he could be eating instead. See, this his teacher is like, he goes, you know how they do, they make a noise. "Listen up here now, young prince. You need to be learning these lessons. What city is this called? What city is this called? And he goes, "It's our city." And then he goes, "What land is this?" And the prince is not, Mickey's not paying attention. All he wants to do is eat. You see all the food over here? He's not paying attention to his teacher up here, who's like tapping the board going, come on, pay attention. Mickey licked his lips as Donald, the prince's butler, carved a giant turkey. Mickey was about to help himself, but Donald pushed him away. There he is, and look at that giant turkey. Uh, Your Highness, said Donald, don't you yet remember? I have to taste it first. What if one of your enemies is trying to poison you? What? Enemies? Asked Mickey, but Donald didn't answer. His mouth was too full, and before Mickey could get a taste, Donald gobbled up everything on the plate. This is what it looked like before. A lot of meat there. This is what it looks like after. And Donald's like, I have to do it. If I don't do it, what'll happen is you could get poisoned. I'm your taster. Remember that. Outside the castle, the real prince quickly discovered the greatest enemy of the townspeople were the king's own soldiers. There's the young prince. This is a soldier here. That's a subject. There's a soldier that just stole a chicken from her. That was probably her egg-laying chicken. Now he's going to take it probably back to Pete and give it to Pete so that Pete gets all the eggs and she doesn't get any of the eggs. Captain Pete has been ordering his men to steal everything they could carry. The prince was horrified. Yeah, see, look, he's like, why are you doing that? That's my subject. And it's not going to turn out very well because these guards are going to think that's just a subject, not the prince. They're going to treat him really bad, which is not nice. As your prince, I command you to give back everything that you have stolen, he declared. Prince, snuffed a soldier. Oh, I get it. You forgot to wear your crown today, he said as he clobbered the prince with a pumpkin. How's that for a crown? He basically threw a pumpkin on top of him, and what he has now is a pumpkin crown. He says, oh, I forgot, your majesty. Here's your crown. And then this is a person that he was trying to help, but he got hit with a pumpkin, and so now the bad soldier's taking the chicken back to Pete. Then the prince remembers something. I can prove I am the prince, he shouted. He showed them his royal ring, the only thing he had brought from the castle. Everyone bowed before the prince when they saw it. Even the soldiers who had carted stolen food. It is the prince, he cried. That's the soldier that stole all the food. He goes, your majesty, I am so sorry. And he's going to give the food back. But somehow it's not going to turn out very well. It looks good. The prince quickly took charge of the food and began to give it back to the hungry people. He handed loaves of bread and chicken and sausages and hams until all the food had been returned. Hooray for the prince, shouted the crowd, the happy crowd. There's Pete, and Pete's not happy. He goes, ha ha ha, where's my food? My guys that I told to go out and get it? Not everybody was happy about the prince's kindness, least of all Captain Pete's spies, who ran off to tell him about what the prince was up to. Pete quickly found the prince and had him thrown into the castle dungeon. He goes, ha ha, now that you're outside your castle, your majesty, you have no power, even though you have a ring. I am the captain of the guards. Men, throw the prince into the dungeon. And he's laughing the whole time, ha ha ha. Now I will be the prince. Donald was in prison too. The prince wept as he sat on the cold stone floor. Because he had changed his place with Mickey, he had not been with his father when the king died, and now Mickey, the pauper, would be crowned king. See, this is he didn't know that his father was going to pass because he was ill. He wanted to go out and see the city and make sure everything was going okay. But with the time that he was out doing that, the prince's father passed to be with the Lord. There's Goofy and the prince. I'm a Goofy. Donald and the prince. Goofy will probably get him out though. Suddenly there was the sound of heavy footing. Donald and the prince peered through the cell door to see a tall, dark figure coming towards them. He was carrying a very sharp axe. "It's the royal executioner," gasped Donald. "Captain Pete must have sent him." Now, who does that look like, though? Is that the royal executioner, or is that... Let's see who it is. I know you know who it is. Let's see. Ah, it's Goofy, of course. We know that, Goofy. He saves the day. The prince and Donald shuddered as the executioner approached. To their great surprise, he tripped on his long robe and knocked the guards unconscious with the side of his axe. See that? Look at, he hits him. He's actually coming over and he fell on his outfit, and the back of the axe hit both these guards and knocked him out. "Gosh, I'm sure sorry," said Goofy as he pulled off his hood. Donald grabbed the key from Goofy and unlocked the door. Goofy went and got the key, came over and gave it to Donald, and then they unlocked the door. So now they're going to be free. Meanwhile, Captain Pete continued his evil plan. He was forcing Mickey to become the new king. To make sure that Mickey would obey his orders, Pete had kidnapped Pluto. Pete knew that Mickey would never do anything to put his dog in danger. With Mickey on the throne, Captain Pete could control the kingdom. There's Pluto. Mickey is like, "Don't hurt Pluto. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't hurt Pluto." And Captain Pete understands that. He's going to be able to use that as leverage to basically have Mickey do whatever he wants. Maybe even make him like a sub-viceroy or something like that, so that he'll have power over the entire kingdom to do whatever he wants. Yes, Mickey will be king, but he'll be more powerful. Just as the crown was about to be placed on Mickey's head, Mickey ducked and said, "Stop! Captain Pete is a traitor. Guards, seize him." "The boy is an imposter," shouted Pete. "I am not." He called out the prince, but he caught the prince bursting into the room. As he rushed towards Captain Pete, he snatched a sword from a guard, and the fight was on. Do you see right here? This is Goofy. He got a bow. As they were entering, there was probably a suit of armor that had a sword, and the young prince grabbed the sword. Donald grabbed probably the axe that Goofy had and maybe cut the handle a little bit so that he would have a weapon. And then Pete was going to force this king, going to tell that Mickey was actually not the prince. And then now the fight's on between the prince and Pete. And we're going to get to see who wins. And it's always a happy ending, so do not worry. Goofy and Donald were doing their best to help the prince. Donald swung his axe and sliced the rope that held up the chandelier. It fell down on a whole crowd of soldiers. You see that? He hit it, and then it came down on 2 or 3 soldiers, and kerplunk, they're out. When the brave prince knocked Pete's sword out of his hand, the townspeople cheered. "Off to the dungeon with them," commanded the prince. The townspeople tied up Pete and his men and led them away. Yay! This is so happy. You see, they're winning. The kingdom's gonna be free. Then it was time for the ceremony. The real prince was crowned king, and the people could feel safe once more with a kind and generous ruler. The people and the people all lived happily ever after, thanks to Mickey, Goofy, and Donald. See, this is right over here is when the prince gets crowned. And so the person here takes the crown, says, "All hail Prince, all hail King." I'm not sure if it's Mickey, but just all hail King. There's Mickey there, Goofy, and Donald. And I'm not sure where Pluto is. Here's Pluto. There's Pluto. So they're all there. Wonderful, wonderful. It ended happy too. They all ended really, really happy. Now we're going to read one more book. We're going to read Walt Disney's Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. So we're reading Walt Disney's Winnie the Pooh, The Wonderful World of Reading, Winnie the Pooh's, and the Honey Tree. Let's take a look to read. This is going to be fun. Oops, there we go. There's Winnie the Pooh. And here's the honey tree one. One morning, deep in the 100-acre woods, a little bear named Winnie the Pooh was doing his stout exercises. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Pooh felt a rumbling in his tummy. Exercise always puts him in the mood for food. Time for something sweet, Pooh happily declared. See, this is him right here. He does up, down, up, down, up, down. And then he looks in the mirror and goes, "Hi, I'm doing my stout exercises. Are you doing them too?" And the mirror probably tosses and goes, "Yes, I'm doing them too." So we get to see now what happens with Pooh. Pooh opened his cupboard for a pot of honey. "Oh, bother," Pooh cried. "Empty again. Only the sticky parts left." Then Pooh heard a buzzing noise. Buzzing means bees, and bees mean honey. Woohoo! And so Pooh's like, I hear remember he goes buzz, buzz. He hears the buzz, buzz, and then he goes, "I know what bees mean. They mean honey. And the only reason for making honey is so I can eat it," Pooh declared. Pooh followed the bee outside, buzz, and the Pooh's going doo 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 doo, and the bee's going buzz 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 buzz. The bee flew high up into the tree, a tree filled with sweet, delicious honey. Yum yum yum! Look up there. That bee that Pooh followed flew up, and now it's with its hive, and it's making honey. It's taking all the nectar and turning it into yummy, yummy honey. Don't we love yummy, yummy honey? With his tummy rumbling, Pooh eagerly climbed the honey tree. He climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed even more. You see, he's going up a branch, 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 branch. "Honey," Pooh declared, reaching the top, but the bees did not want to share with Pooh. The swarmed around him. The bees swarmed around him until, oh bother, he fell. He fell off and fell, oof, and fell and thumped on the ground. Bounce off the tree. Bouncing off the tree. He bounced on this tree limb, that tree limb here, and then he finally hit the ground with a pop like that. He landed with a whomp right in the middle of a Gaussian bush, basically a bush with a lot of pokies. "Oh bother," Pooh cried. "I suppose it all comes from having oh bother," Pooh cried. "I suppose it all comes from liking honey too much," he says. Pooh was even hungrier than before. What was he going to do? Think, Pooh thought. Look, he fell on the ground. Those are the stars that he saw. Now he's saying, think. What do I need to do to get honey? He says, I like honey, and that's kind of why this happened. Let's get to another page and see. Pooh was joined by Christopher Robin. Pooh saw his friend's balloon and got an idea. May I borrow your balloon to get honey? Asked Pooh. But you don't get honey with a balloon, Christopher Robin answered. I do, Pooh said, smiling. Then Pooh rolled in the mud, the puddle of mud. You see how he's rolling it? He's going to try to look like what? A cloud, and took the balloon from Christopher Robin. I will fly up into the honey bee tree, Pooh exclaimed. But you're not a bee, said Christopher Robin. They'll think I'm a little black rain cloud, Pooh answered as he rose higher and higher. Silly old bear, laughed Christopher Robin. Good luck. All right, let's see. This is good. I love this book here. It's fun. Hello, bees, Pooh said, reaching the top. He tried his best to look like a little black rain cloud, but the bees knew better. They angrily swarmed around him. Christopher Robin, Pooh called down. I think the bees suspect something. You think? That's funny. Then the balloon lost air. It zoomed away and took Pooh with it. Oh no! What happened was the bees over here, popped this right here, and what's going to happen is the air is going to blow and make Pooh go away, so that's not good. Oh my! Oh, help! Pooh cried. Christopher Robin, I think I shall come down now. Don't worry, Pooh. I'll catch you. That's what Christopher Robin says. I'll catch you. Almost there. There we go. Oof! Pooh landed right on top of Christopher Robin. I have come to a very important decision, said the little bear with little brain. I don't think I like little black rain clouds anymore. That's funny. He goes, Pooh says he has a little fuzzy brain. He goes to Christopher Robin. I don't think I want to play the little black rain cloud anymore. I don't think the bees thought that I was a black rain cloud. But Pooh did not give up. He set his mind on honey, and honey rhymes with bunny, and bunny means rabbit. Hello, rabbit, Pooh said at his friend's house. It's lunchtime, you know. Oh, hello, Pooh. So it is, Rabbit slumped. Join me. Oh, yes, Pooh answered. I'd love to. Rabbit's like, he knows what this means. If you let Pooh in, he's going to eat all of Rabbit's honey. And Rabbit's like, do I let him in? But he's my buddy, so he lets him in and they have some lunch. This is going to be the good part. I always like this. These are fun books to read. So Pooh joined Rabbit for lunch. Would you like milk or honey with your bread? Rabbit grumbled and asked. Both, Pooh replied, but never mind the bread and never mind the milk. Please. And of course, you know what he's going to say. He has bread here. Rabbit has bread. And there's some honey. And Rabbit's like, do you want some bread and honey on there? And Pooh's like, save the bread, save the milk. I want honey. So Pooh ate and ate and ate and ate. And he ate, and he ate, and he ate, and he ate some more, and ate. Would you like some more? Rabbit asked, trying to sound polite. Is there any more? Pooh asked in a sticky voice. No, Rabbit replied crankily. There isn't any more. There isn't any more, Pooh. Not any anymore. Then I must be going, Pooh said. Goodbye, Rabbit. And Pooh stared at the door. He tried to wiggle right towards it. He couldn't, so he tried wiggling back, but he couldn't. He couldn't even get out. Oh, help, help, oh, help, bother, help, 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 Pooh declared. I'm stuck. He thought because he ate too much honey, he got too big. He thought he could make it through the hole here, which is the door. He's always been able to make it through there, but since he ate so much honey, now he's too big to fit through the door. And this is what happens. He went through, he got stuck, and he tried to go back out, and he got stuck. Now Rabbit's back door is Pooh stuck in it. So we're gonna get to see how this happens. What happens now? It was true. Pooh's tummy was honey full to fit. He had too much honey. That basically Pooh's tummy was too honey fill to fit. So that's what Rabbit was saying. So it's Pooh, you ate way too much honey. Now you're stuck. Now you're too big. You won't fit through my back door. And this is Rabbit. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Rabbit cried. It comes from liking too much honey, Pooh sighed. It comes from eating honey too much, Rabbit scorned. He goes, it's not because you like too much honey, it's because you ate too much honey, Rabbit says. Now Rabbit's like, what do I do? What do I do? Rabbit comes around and he goes out his front door, goes around to his back door. Rabbit pushes and pulls and shoves and tugs, but Pooh doesn't budge. It's no use, Rabbit cried. I'll go get Christopher Robin. So he pulled him, tugged him, pushed him, and tried to get him out. But he's too big from eating too much honey. Poor Pooh. He tried and tried to squeeze through. He even tried to blow out air like Christopher Robin's balloon, but it didn't help. He was jammed tight in Rabbit's back door. Oh no, that's not good. Well, if it isn't Pooh Bear, said a familiar voice. Oh, hello, Owl. Pooh agreed to his friend. You, sir, were a wedged bear. It is a great tightness. You are surely wedged in there, and you are a big bear, said Owl. And so Owl will you know how Owl is. He'll probably tell him a story like, I remember when my cousin Frank, he ate too much jelly and he got stuck to the floor or something like that. He'll do something like that. And then he couldn't move until he got that jelly off his feet, and then he was right as rain. He probably would say something like that to Pooh to make him feel better. He always told a story to make the others feel better. That's how Owl is very special. Huh, Pooh asked. You're stuck? Owl simply explained. Pooh didn't know what he meant by a wedged and all that other stuff. This situation calls for an expert, Owl declared. Did someone call an expert? Said a little newcomer. Did everybody say an expert? I'm a gopher, and I will take care of you, Pooh. Don't worry, I'll get you out of there. That's basically that's what gopher. Gopher's my name. Digging's my game. It seems Owl said the entrance to Rabbit's domicile is impaled, or unpassable. Huh, Gopher asked. Do you see Gopher there? And Owl says, my friend Gopher, Pooh's stuck in there. There's no way to get him out. The Gopher's like, why don't we just dig him out? But good thing Christopher Robin came before that, because who knows what would have happened if they would have tried to do that. Might have collapsed Rabbit's whole house, so I'm glad Christopher Robin came. The bear's stuck, Owl exclaimed. What do you suggest? Dynamite, Gopher replied. Dynamite? Pooh cried. Oh my. Just then Rabbit returned with Christopher Robin. Cheer up, Pooh, Christopher Robin says. We'll get you out of there. That was bad. It was bad. Owl's like, what do you suggest? Dynamite. Pooh's like, dynamite? That's not going to be good. If we use dynamite, the Rabbit won't have a house, and we won't all be here. That'll be horrible. And so Christopher Robin says, stop. Don't use dynamite. We'll get you out somehow, but without having to use dynamite. Rabbit's home. Here, give me your arm, Christopher Robin says. With Rabbit's help, Christopher Robin grabbed and drug and pushed until Pooh didn't move at all. They grabbed and he pushed. Then he pushed, and he pulled and pushed. Couldn't get him out. He's too big now. There's only one thing we can do, Pooh, Christopher Robin declared. You'll have to wait for you to get thinner again. How long will that take? Pooh asked. Who knows? Owl replied. See, he has to wait. He has too much honey inside of him, and so he has to wait. And then he'll get small enough, and boom, he'll come out. Rabbit did not want to look at Pooh. He put a portrait over him. But what could he do if I have to face that thing? Rabbit declared. I might as well make the best of it. So Rabbit decided to decorate it. First, he added a frame to Pooh. Very nice, Rabbit said. Now for a splash of color. Then he placed antler-looking sticks on it and drew a moose face. Oh, bother. Not bad, Rabbit said, admiring his work. It's rather good, I think. Do you see how he didn't want to look at Pooh being stuck, so he put antlers on, put a picture frame, a board, so he could set lamps and things on it, so that until Pooh gets smaller, then he'll have his whole back to go out his back door. Oh, Rabbit, Pooh called from outside. I have a tickle in my nose. I don't think I'm going to chew. Pooh sneezed and messed up the moose. Why did I ever invite that bear to lunch? Rabbit moaned. Why, oh, why? You could hear him say, why, oh, why did I invite Pooh in? I knew he was going to eat all my honey, and I knew that this was eventually going to happen. But it's nice to invite friends, so Rabbit did the right thing, even though getting stuck was kind of what happened. Day after day, night after night, everyone waited for Pooh to get thin. The friends tried to cheer him up. Christopher Robin read stories to Pooh. Owl taught him long words. Remember, from all of his friends and his family members, Owl would tell him a story. And Christopher Robin read Pooh a story. Eventually, Pooh's going to get small enough, and out he'll pop, and he'll come right out of Rabbit's hole. Kanga and Roo brought Pooh a bright blue scarf to keep him warm. Even gloomy Eeyore tried to make Pooh feel better. Well, it's better than dynamite, I think. And you know how it is. I don't know, but I'm glad I'm here to help you. So don't you worry, Pooh. You're going to get thin soon. And like I said before, Christopher Robin will help you and all your friends, especially me, Eeyore. I hope I'm making you feel better. And Pooh's going like, Eeyore. But Eeyore goes, I'll see you for now. I'll be back and we'll talk again. And so Eeyore leaves. One night, Gopher joins Pooh for a midnight snack. Ah, what sort of lunch is in that lunchbox? Asked the very hungry bear. Oh, a pear, a squash, and some honey, Gopher answered. Honey? Pooh hungrily asked. Could you spare a small smackerel? And Gopher's like, no, you can't. You cannot eat any more honey, Pooh. If you do, you're going to stay big like that, and then you're not going to get small and be able to go out the door. It's not going to work out. And then Rabbit comes around with a sign. Do not feed the bear. No, Rabbit cried, running out of his house. Not one drop. But Rabbit, Pooh moaned, I wasn't going to eat it. I was just going to taste it. If Pooh doesn't get smaller, he will never get out. So Rabbit put up a sign that read, Do not feed the bear. I repeat, do not feed the bear. Then one day, just when Rabbit thought he'd never use his door again, it happened. He budged. Rabbit said, pushing up against, "Oh, Pooh, hooray, today's the day." Rabbit ran off to get Christopher Robin and the others. Yay! Pooh lost enough weight, he's going to be able to get out. Yay! Hooray! Everybody pulled. Everybody pull, Christopher Robin yelled. Heave, ho, heave, ho, heave, ho. Slow, 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 slow. Pooh started to unplug, but it was too slow for Rabbit. So Rabbit was like, I'm not going to wait till Pooh. See, Pooh's about to come out with Christopher Robin and everybody pulling, but Rabbit's like, that ain't happening. I'm going to get you out right away. Rabbit stood way back from Pooh, built up all his strength. Then he ran as fast as he could and straight into Pooh's back and boom! Let's see what happens. Whoosh, pop, pop. Pooh shoots out of the hole like a big bear bird. Pooh soared through the air. He goes, whoosh! I'm a super bear, woohoo! Then he flies, he's flying. And where does he land? Whomp! Right in the honey tree. The bees were terrified and flew away. Look, there's Pooh. He's stuck in the honey tree. And they all come out after Pooh gets stuck in there. Don't worry, Pooh, Christopher Robin called from the ground. We'll get you out. No hurry, Pooh replied as he gobbled and helped him hands full of honey. He basically started eating. Take your time, Pooh says. And Christopher Robin's like, don't worry, you silly old bear. We'll get you out. And Pooh's like, I finally got my dream of all the honey. And he just starts eating it. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, good. We get to look at the 100-acre woods, the whole map. And let's do that. There's Rabbit's house where Pooh got stuck. Do you see that? There's Piglet. There's the nice picnic spot. There's the sand pit where Roo plays. There's Owl's house over here. There's Pooh's house right there. There's the floody place. The 100-acre woods, that's the entrance to the 100-acre woods. That's the bee tree where Pooh got stuck and he started eating. There's Christopher Robin's house here. And there's Eeyore. That's the bridge that they'll take sticks and they'll drop it and they'll see who wins. I'm going to see, is there anything else? Oh, here's Rabbit's relatives. I'm trying to see if there's anything. There's the water, 100-acre woods. Let me see, are we missing anything? I don't think so. There's a lot of branches up here. Oh, the big stony place. This is where there's a lot of stones up here. So we got everything. Yay! Congratulations. What did we learn from the Winnie the Pooh and the Prince and the Pauper? We learned from Winnie the Pooh that we need to remember to always, invite our friends like Rabbit did and be nice. But we also need to remember not to eat so much that we get stuck in our door, like what happened to Pooh. But Pooh ended up getting out, and he ended up getting stuck in the tree, and he got all the honey he wanted. But with the Prince and the Pauper, we learned that, being nice, being generous, and loving others is a very important thing. And that's what the prince that became the king understood. And in the end, the Prince and the Pauper ended up happy, and when Winnie the Pooh, it ended happy. So like what we always say, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and come back to Happy Time Story Time for more reading. Be blessed, my friends. Bye-bye.